Hi friends, and welcome to Coffee Break. So today we're going to talk about by far my very favorite beatitude, and it is Matthew 5:8. And so it says, God blesses those who are pure in heart, for they will see God. And I just absolutely love this one. I love it because it challenges me. I love it because it's deep, and I love it because it kind of backs up the thing that I feel like is always being spoken in my heart as I read the word about being true and being real and being transparent. And so, to look into this, I kind of jumped into some word study and nerded out in the Greek. But I had to look at the word. And so the Greek word for this, I cannot begin to pronounce it. But the Greek word for pure here, when it talks about the pure in heart, literally means clean. And so Strong's puts it clean, pure, and unstained. And so then I was digging through that, and I was like, okay, let's look into where this word came from, what it means, how it would have been used. And it was used to describe things without admixture. So things that were separated or purged. So hence clean or pure, because it was not mixed with undesirable elements. If you're talking about pure salt, it didn't have anything added or mixed in. And Thayer's Greek lexicon puts it this way. It says clean, pure from free, or pure, clean or pure, free from the admixture or adhesion of anything that soils, adulterates, or corrupts. And so when God's saying to have a pure heart, he's kind of saying, I want your heart to be pure. I want it to be separated, and I want it to be just for me. And he's kind of talking about wanting to be our one and only. He's not saying like, I want to be the God for you above this and that and the other. What he's saying is, I want to be the God for you, and that's it. I don't want to be at the top of your list of things you love. I want to be the only thing on the list. And that's pretty cool, and it challenges me, because he's saying push everything else aside, put everything else away. I don't want anything added in or tacked on. I want your heart to be 100% purely devoted to me. And that challenges me, but how great is that? Because that's the kind of love I want him to have, towards me. And so that's kind of love he calls us to, is like a pure, unadulterated, separated love that is just passionate and on fire for him and him alone. And so, he's saying, be holy, undividedly his. And Psalms 24 talks about this. It says, in verse 3 and 4, it says, who may climb to the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. And so what I love about this verse in Psalm 24 is it talks about how greatly God values honesty. Like, God wants us to be honest before him. Without honesty, really a relationship with God is impossible. We can't, come to go know God and come to a place where we realize our need in God unless we're honest with ourselves and admit it and realize it, right? And then in Psalm 51:10, David prays this. He prays, create in me a clean heart, O God, renew a loyal spirit in me. And so I like that idea that he can recreate our hearts, right? Because God can recreate our hearts. So if our heart isn't pure, we just say, God, I need a new heart, and he can recreate it. He can regenerate our hearts. And I like too that he'll renew our loyalty. So if we come to a place in our life where we say, God, I love you, but it's not a pure love. I love you, and I love this person, and I love these things, and I love doing this activity, and it's all kind of gotten mixed together. We can say, hey God, I need you to renew that loyalty that's for you and you alone, and he will. He'll be faithful to do it. There's a promise in Ezekiel 36:26. It says this, I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. And that's a verse that I pray daily, that God would take out my stubbornness and take out my rock hard heart, and that he would make me new and loyal and steadfast and completely his, and pliable to him, and just make my heart a heart after him and him alone. And so there's this verse to kind of wrap us up. In 1 John 3 verses 2 and 3, it says this. It says, dear friends, we are already God's children, but he has not yet shown us what we will be like when Christ appears. But we do know that we will be like him, for we will see him as he really is. All who have this eager expectation will keep themselves pure, just as he is pure. And I love this because I feel like John is reiterating what Jesus spoke in Matthew 5:8, that, if we keep ourselves pure, we get to see the face of God. And there's nothing I'm more excited about than one day when I'll stand in his presence and I'll finally see him face to face and know him as he is. That amazes me. And so it's saying, if that's our expectation, if that's what we want to get, then we've got to keep ourselves pure. We can't be adding things in. We can't be tacking things on. We just have to be 100% wholeheartedly and devotedly his. And so my prayer for you today and for all of us is that God would teach us to be pure in heart, and that we would daily come to him, daily surrender ourselves, lay ourselves aside, and take up our cross and follow him.